What if I told you that true focus, the kind that bends time, silences chaos, and channels all energy into a single point, is not a talent, but a weapon, a forgotten art? And when trained properly, it doesn't just sharpen your mind, it reshapes your reality. In a world drowning in distraction, true focus looks like magic. But it is not magic. It is discipline. It is philosophy. It is Stoicism applied like a blade. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Seneca, pause for a moment. Reflect on those words. How many around you are tossed about by every wind, every notification, every impulse, every fleeting urge? They wake up, and within seconds, their mind belongs to a screen, a scroll, a ping, a fleeting comment. They chase 10 things at once and wonder why they finish nothing. They want peace, yet invite chaos with every tap and swipe. We've become prisoners of fractured attention. But the Stoics, they knew better. They trained their minds like warriors. They didn't just meditate in silence. They stood firm in storms, in politics, in war, with eyes locked on the essential. Because they understood something most of us have forgotten. The power of the mind lies in what it chooses to attend to. This video is not just about being more focused. This is about learning to wield your attention like a sword. To train your focus so fiercely that people think it's supernatural. To reclaim your inner citadel, the sacred space inside you that no noise can touch. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the ancient Stoic truths behind unstoppable focus, why the world is designed to steal your attention, and how you can train your mind to see clearly through the fog. We'll explore timeless insights from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, decode hidden teachings on inner stillness, and equip you with powerful practices that turn focus into your secret weapon. But first, pause. Ask yourself, when was the last time you focused so deeply the world disappeared? If you're ready to remember that power, if you're ready to see what's been hidden in plain sight, then stay with me, because what comes next may just change how you see everything. If this opening resonates with you, tap the like button. It tells the algorithm to share this with those who need it. Subscribe if you're ready to master your mind and unlock Stoic wisdom that cuts through modern chaos. To understand the power of focused attention, you must go back to a time when men ruled empires, yet knelt before their own minds. Long before smartphones, before sensory overload, before the information age, distractions still existed, but it wore different clothes. It came in the form of lust for power, the noise of public opinion, the chaos of war, and the lure of vanity. And yet, amid the noise, there were a few who stood still. One of them ruled the most powerful empire in the world, Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher-emperor, a man who could command armies with a gesture, yet chose to command his thoughts instead. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, he would rise before dawn, not to conquer lands, but to conquer himself. Each morning, he would open his journal, the Meditations, and remind himself of what truly mattered. That focus was not simply attention. It was a form of spiritual alignment, a sacred tuning of the soul. To the Stoics, focus was not a skill. It was a virtue, a way of life. They called it prohairesis, the rational will, the divine faculty that allows man to choose what he attends to, regardless of external noise. This is the core of Stoicism. You don't control the world. You control where your mind goes. In the bustling marketplaces of Rome, in the Senate, in exile, in chains, the Stoic remained still inside, unshaken. Epictetus, once a slave, spoke more freely than kings because his mind was not chained. Wherever your attention dwells, there is your reality. That is the secret. Whatever commands your focus shapes your experience, your emotions, your actions, your fate. But here's the tragedy. This wisdom, once revered, has been buried. Modern culture speaks of productivity hacks and biohacks, but forgets that the original mind hackers were philosophers. The Stoics, they didn't need an app. They didn't chase dopamine. They trained their focus like Spartans trained for war, through discipline, journaling, negative visualization, and ruthless clarity of purpose. And over time, this knowledge became obscured. Why? Because it requires responsibility. Because it demands that you admit your mind is yours to govern, not society's, not the algorithms, yours. And in a world that profits from your distraction, teaching this truth is revolutionary. But the Stoics didn't seek approval. They sought truth. And through truth, they found freedom. So when you train your focus in the way of the Stoics, you're not just improving your productivity. You're reviving a sacred discipline. You're practicing an ancient rebellion against chaos. And what comes next is how. Focus, real focus, is a portal, not just to productivity, but to power, to peace, to purpose. It is how the Stoics entered the world without being consumed by it. And today, you will begin to see how they did it. The enemy, the mind left untrained. Most people think focus is just about trying harder. But what they don't understand is this. The mind, left untrained, is not neutral. It is restless, impulsive, hungry. Like a wild horse, it bolts toward every noise, every glittering thought. And if you don't hold the reins, something else will. If you do not choose what to focus on, the world will choose for you. The Stoics knew this. They lived in marketplaces and battlefields, not in mountain caves. Yet they were more still than monks. Why? Because they trained their inner eye, the hegemonikon, the ruling faculty of the soul. In Stoicism, the mind is not just a brain. It is a sovereign kingdom. And focus is how the king stays on the throne. So let's begin with the first lesson. Lesson 1. Control the input. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Marcus Aurelius. Imagine walking into a great hall, vast, sacred, and echoing with silence. This is your mind, in its pure form. Now picture hundreds of voices barging in, screaming, selling, pleading. That's your phone, your news feed, your endless scroll of noise. Each time you allow a trivial input in, it leaves a footprint, a residue. Your mind becomes a marketplace, not a temple. The Stoics treated input like food. Only what nourishes may enter. They were ruthless gatekeepers of their attention. Epictetus advised his students, you must train yourself to want only what is within your control. And the first thing within your control is what you allow in. Ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind each morning? Who is programming my thoughts before I've even taken my first breath of silence? If you wake up and check your phone before you check in with your own soul, you've already given your focus away. The practice begins here. Silence before stimulation, stillness before scrolling, journaling before judgment. This is not a motivational tip, it is spiritual warfare. Lesson 2. Single-pointed mind. Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics didn't multitask. They didn't scatter themselves across 1,000 things. They did what was in front of them, completely. This is the art of monotasking, a forgotten power. To lock in on one thing, as if nothing else exists. When you do this, your focus becomes a beam, not a candle. Candles glow, beams cut. That's the difference between someone who dabbles and someone who moves mountains. This is where discipline meets divinity. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write wisdom. He governed an empire while staying anchored to virtue. He had battles to fight, betrayals to endure, plagues to navigate. Yet he returned, again and again, to one point. Do the thing in front of you. Do it well. Then let it go. This is a practice, a ritual, one task, total presence, detached outcome. This is not productivity advice. It is soul alignment. Lesson 3. Negative visualization sharpens focus. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. Focus isn't just about the external world. It's also about what haunts your inner world. Most people lose focus not because of too many distractions, but because of too many fears. Fear of failure, fear of missing out, fear of being judged. These are phantom enemies, and yet they pull your focus like gravity. The Stoics had a tool to destroy these ghosts. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. They would imagine the worst-case scenario, not to invite doom, but to remove its sting. By picturing loss, failure, or rejection, they trained their minds to remain stable. They became immune to the anxiety of what if. And in that immunity, they focused, undisturbed. What distracts you is not your phone. It's the fear that you're falling behind, that you're not enough, that you're wasting time. Visualize the worst. Then you are free. Lesson 4. The fire within. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Marcus Aurelius. This is perhaps the most mystical part of Stoic focus. To the untrained, obstacles are distractions. To the trained, distractions become fuel. This is the alchemy of attention. A Stoic doesn't merely block out the world. He transforms it. Insults? Practice patience. Delays? Practice endurance. Chaos? Practice clarity. This is the highest form of focus, transmutational focus, where you don't just ignore the world. You use it. You burn it in your fire. This is how the Stoics endured banishment, poverty, disease, assassination attempts, and betrayal, and emerged unshaken. Because their focus wasn't fragile. It was forged. Lesson 5. Return to the breath. It may sound too simple, too soft, but make no mistake. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, understood the breath as a tool of focus. Inhale with intention. Exhale with awareness. Every breath is a reminder. You are not your distractions. You are the one observing them. Your breath anchors you. It reminds you that you are here now, not in the past, not in the chaos, but in the present, where your power lives. Let me pause here. We've just established the first 5 Stoic foundations of legendary focus. 1. Control the input. Become the gatekeeper of your attention. 2. Single-pointed mind. Burn through distractions with total presence. 3. Negative visualization. Free yourself from fear and sharpen clarity. 4. Transmutational focus. Turn obstacles into fuel. 5. Breath awareness. Anchor your mind with each breath. But this is just the beginning. In part 2, we will go deeper. We'll explore paradoxes, hidden traps of focus, and why some Stoics went beyond silence into divine stillness. And why, in the end, the most focused man appears almost otherworldly. There is a silence so deep it speaks. The ancient Stoics knew it. Not the silence of a quiet room, but the silence of a trained soul. In part 1, we explored the foundation. But now, we enter the inner sanctum. This is where focus becomes something else. Something more than concentration. Something beyond mental clarity. It becomes a force. A field you carry into the world. A stillness so magnetic, others feel it before you speak. Let us now unlock the deeper codes of Stoic focus, the ones hidden behind paradoxes, obscured by simplicity, and preserved only in fragments of ancient wisdom. Paradox 1. Focus is not chasing, it is returning. Most people chase focus like it's somewhere outside of them. They buy planners. download apps, set timers, burn incense. But the Stoic understood. Focus is not found. It is returned to. You don't acquire focus. You remove what stands in the way. Like a sculptor doesn't build the statue. He reveals it by cutting away the excess. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." The same is true for attention. Disregard what is not yours to control, and your focus returns on its own. That is the paradox. Focus is not a pursuit. It is a homecoming. Paradox 2. Effortless effort. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions, than your own soul." But how does one reach that place when the mind is loud? Here's the secret. You do not force the mind. You invite it back. The Stoics practiced a concept we now call effortless effort, a form of engagement that is intense, yet relaxed. Imagine a martial artist in flow, his body moving swiftly, powerfully, yet he seems calm. That is Stoic focus. Yes, they practice discipline, but not rigid control, not white-knuckled willpower. They trained to observe impulses, then let them pass. They didn't fight the river. They became the river, while steering its direction. You can see it in the meditations. Marcus doesn't scream at himself to concentrate. He gently guides himself back, again and again. That's the advanced game. Discipline without tension. Intensity without anxiety. Engagement without ego. Paradox 3. The more you let go, the sharper you become. Imagine holding water in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it escapes. This is how most people treat focus. They tighten, obsess, panic when it slips. But the Stoics? They let go. And in doing so, they accessed a level of perception most never reach. Seneca once wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." And so they practiced being fully here. They didn't strive for total control. They aligned with nature. And nature is present, always. This is why Marcus could rule an empire while remaining inwardly still. He wasn't focused because he had fewer distractions. He was focused because he had fewer attachments. That's the deeper key. If you want razor-sharp focus, let go of needing to do everything. Let go of needing to be everywhere. Let go of needing to prove anything. Then your energy returns. Hidden practice, the view from above. Here's a Stoic technique rarely spoken of, but it unlocks profound focus. It's called the view from above. The Stoics would meditate by imagining themselves lifting above the earth, rising past their city, above their country, beyond the planet, until everything, the noise, the problems, the petty dramas, became small. They saw their life as one frame in a vast cosmic film. And in that elevated perspective, they found clarity, stillness, focus. Why? Because when you zoom out, the trivial dissolves. Only the essential remains. So the next time your mind is scattered, try it. Close your eyes. Picture yourself above it all. Breathe, and return to what truly matters. Advanced Stoic insight. Logos as a guide to focus. The Stoics believed in something deeper than logic. They believed in logos, a divine order, a rational structure that runs through the cosmos. To them, logos wasn't just philosophy. It was alignment. If your actions aligned with logos, your focus would flow. If you resisted it, you would suffer fragmentation. Think of it as a spiritual current. The Stoic doesn't fight the flow. He listens to it. He aligns with it. This is why their focus looked like magic. It wasn't theirs alone. It was channeled from something larger. So when you sit down to do your work, write your journal, speak your truth. Ask, is this aligned with my higher nature or my lower cravings? Because when your actions and your soul are in sync, focus is not a struggle. It is inevitable. The still man appears divine. There's a reason why a truly focused person seems powerful, even otherworldly. Because in a world of chaos, the still man is not just different. He is dangerous. He can't be manipulated. He's not chasing trends. He doesn't overreact. He sees clearly, speaks deliberately, moves with purpose, and people sense this. They're drawn to it because it is rare. But here's the truth the Stoics knew. This kind of presence is not mystical. It is earned through hours of solitude, through practices most won't do, through inner rebellion against a world designed to keep you weak. And this is why true focus looks like magic. Because to the distracted man, it is unimaginable. Why most people will never find it. Let's speak plainly. Most people will never experience this kind of focus because they're not willing to be bored, to be silent, to be alone. And yet, that is where the power begins. Not in adding more, but subtracting, refining, distilling. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Seneca, the Stoic masters focused not because they were superhuman, but because they were willing to sit in stillness until the mind bent back into shape. This isn't about magic. It's about method. It's about practice. And if you're still here, still listening, still absorbing, then you're already walking the path. Now we move into application. How do you take all this and live it? That's what comes next. You've now stepped through the gate, from noise into clarity, from chaos into command. But insight without application is vanity. So now, the question becomes, how do you train your focus so deeply it feels like magic? The Stoics didn't guess. They practiced. And now, so will you. Here are the 5 core rituals, ancient, powerful, and simple. Each one a sharpening stone for your attention. Each one a doorway to the stillness within. Number 1. The morning gate. Delay the world. For the first 30 minutes of your day, no phone, no input, no external noise. Wake in silence. Sit. Write. Breathe. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. Marcus Aurelius. Let your soul arrive before the world does. Journal your thoughts. Set intentions. Reclaim yourself. This is your temple before the noise of the market. It's not just a productivity hack. It's spiritual armor. Number 2. Focus presence. One thing only. Choose one task per day to give your full, undivided attention to. Not half focus. Not checking messages in between. Total immersion. Treat it as sacred. Whether it's writing, creating, planning, or simply listening deeply to someone. Practice single-pointed awareness. This is the mind's resistance training. Like a blade, it sharpens through focused friction. Number 3. The midday stillness. Return to center. At midday, stop. Not long, just 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Breathe. Recall the view from above. Men seek retreats for themselves. In the country, by the sea. But nowhere is there more peace than within one's own soul. Marcus Aurelius. Ask yourself, have I been pulled off course? What's really essential right now? This practice realigns you. You will return to your task with more force, less friction. Number 4. Evening examination, the audit of attention. Each night, reflect on how you used your focus. What distracted you? What strengthened you? Where did you drift? Where did you dominate? Seneca and Epictetus both endorsed this ritual. It builds awareness, discipline, and power. Write down your observations. No judgment, just clarity. As one Stoic once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So know what thoughts are painting your mind. Number 5. The sacred breath. Anchor yourself. Throughout the day, especially during stress, return to the breath. Inhale deeply. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale slowly. Let it become your tether to the present. When the mind races, the breath brings it home. Do not underestimate this. The Stoics knew that control of breath is control of self. In moments of anger, panic, or overwhelm, one conscious breath can restore your sovereignty. Pitfalls to avoid. Don't expect perfection. Stoic focus is a practice, not a performance. Avoid tracking every second. True focus is felt, not measured. Be wary of apps and tools that promise discipline, but steal presence. Don't confuse rigid control with calm power. Remember, focus isn't about obsession. It's about intention. And even if you drift 100 times, the act of returning is the victory, the transformation. Start these rituals now, one at a time, then build. Your mind will resist. That's part of the forging. But over time, you will feel it. The distractions grow quieter. Your attention sharpens. Your presence deepens. People will notice, even if they don't know why. You will become the person who walks into a room, and without saying a word, commands it, because your attention is no longer rented. It is owned, directed, divine. Now you know, not just what focus is, but what it was always meant to be. Not a productivity trick, not a motivational spike, not some tool to get more done, but a gateway to depth, to purpose, to something sacred. The Stoics didn't train their minds to impress others. They trained them to remain free. Free from impulse, free from distraction, free from the constant noise that enslaves modern man. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. Now ask yourself, how much of your life have you given away? How many hours have you surrendered to scrolling, worrying, chasing what does not matter? Be honest, because that's where the power begins. Not in pretending you're focused, but in admitting when you're not, and changing anyway. The world will not slow down. The chaos will not wait for your permission. And that's why your inner stillness must become your fortress. Focus is no longer optional. It is the line between a life of reaction and a life of creation, between drifting and leading. And the truth is, those who train their attention in this distracted age will look like sorcerers to those who don't. Because when others fidget, you'll be still. When they scatter, you'll center. When they beg for meaning, you'll carry it inside you. And this quiet force will change everything. So, wake tomorrow with intention. Guard the morning like a sacred temple. Choose what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Practice the rituals. Stand in stillness, even as the storm rages. And let the world watch in awe. As you do what few can, focus so powerfully that it looks like magic. If this message awakened something inside you, if you felt seen, challenged, or inspired, then this is your call. Don't just watch. Join the mission. Subscribe, comment, share your practice below. And remember, this isn't entertainment. This is a return to yourself. Stay still, stay sharp, and above all, stay stoic.